Okay, I'm going to jump in and get going here. If any points, anybody has any questions or comments or anything at all they want to discuss, feel free to jump in and stop me. I've got Shelly and Laura internally here helping out with questions and chat. So put in the chat, pose a question, feel free to jump in whenever, and we'll get started. All right, so we're doing print marketing services webinar. This one is the art of the upsell. So perfect time of year for this. Top products for every print plan. So what we do, specifically and especially throughout the mid-summer months, is put together comprehensive year-round marketing plans. And it'll include all these primary components here, from data, the prepays, all the way down to upsell, upsell, upsell at the bottom. And these are listed roughly chronologically and are the key components, in addition to some others that we put together in every plan. So July, August, we'll start the planning process again for the next year with roughly September to September calendar. So we're wrapping up neighborhood production cards now. We're still heavily involved in the actual production and sending process. When we look at the planning side, these are all set up beforehand. So upsell time now means, throughout the summer, starting May, going through into the fall. So now is the time to get everything set up and planned out, and the actual production delivery mail process, that's pretty quick once we get everything mapped out. So specifically upsells, perfect time of year for, like I said, they run from May through September, and we'll start that process now right away. So getting set up with design and targets and everything planned out and ready to go, so they hit either all summer or specific campaigns, which I'll jump into in a few here. So audience is your active customers. The real benefit is that it's an very easy way to pull in additional revenue throughout the traditionally slower revenue generation months when you're in, heavily midst of service season and not picking up nearly as many brand new full plan lawn care customers. It's a great way to get some extra cash in the door, usually at a fairly reasonable expense too. So active customers, in some cases we've done a blend of marketing prospects and customers, and those campaigns can be effective too. Say, if you're going to pitch to some new prospects, like a 4-application mosquito service, and the idea is that you get them on the books for mosquito, 4 different applications or whatever it is, and then you can also, they're on the books, so you can pitch them the lawn care and secure them for additional services, for the following year down the road. It's the most profitable way to increase sales. It is. It has our highest return of really any campaign or product, simply because you've already got a relationship with them. You're on the property, on the premises. They see your signs and the guys in the field all the time. You can target a specific campaign service or multiple services, which I'll explain in more detail in a couple of slides here. Different ways to go. Both are really effective. And the timing, like I mentioned previously, the drop should be about a month before. Really want to start that process now, so it's all ready to go, and then we can time it out to hit whenever you'd like. If we're doing maybe mid-May, depending on where you are and what your service schedule looks like. If you're doing like a mosquito campaign or something, we'll get it all set up now, and in the next, say, few weeks, and then have that hit whenever you need, whenever's best for you. Campaign tactics. So multiple platforms, a number of ways to get that word out, from letters and postcards, our heavy hitters. On invoices is a great way, any kind of leave behind. Lawn signs, we have a number of our customers that do, say, for mosquito campaigns or tick or like flea tick, something like that. They'll have a specific, usually smaller batch of posting signs just for that, with the contact information, just like your regular posting sign. So when they do the application, they'll pop a mosquito sign in the ground there, and it's just extra exposure for you, and it lets the customer know that you've been there and you perform the service. Neighbor postcards, heading into that season right now. It's a good way. They're small, but it's a nice way to throw a couple upsell services on there and hit a number of people. And AMA email, So AMA is an excellent platform to get this out. I've got, I have a local company here, Metro Detroit, that I work with that does my lawn, and I get the posting signs, but I get emails from them all the time, which are great. So promoting any sort of service they've got, you know, any kind of promotion or a little contest they'll run or something. I get the leave behinds at the door with the service was performed. Here's a couple notes. She would recommend maybe you know, grub might not be a bad idea, something like that. And I get the follow-up email as well with the same suggestions. And the way that that AMA works, it'll, at least for mine, when I give my emails, it looks like a marketing type letter. So it's you know, it's a nice HTML piece that it hits my inbox every time the guys have been here. It actually comes to my work and personal email too, so they're hitting me as many ways as possible.
Andrew, Tiffany has a question. I'm not sure when you want me to. I think you can see the question, so if you want me to just chime in when I get them.
Yeah, please, that'd be great.
I answered her, but I think you can talk more in depth about this. She's actually asking, you know, what kind of return you get with, you know, with an actual printed piece versus digital marketing tactics. So she's asking, what is the success rate of the actual postcards? Because the world is moving paperless, and don't you find digital marketing, emails, et cetera, get better conversion than the print mailers?
Good question. And I'm going to hit on that a little bit later with some actual figures. You'll see that lawn care, for whatever, you know, reason, this industry specifically responds really well to the print marketing pieces, as well as digital. From just a pure marketing standpoint, if it's a new prospect, I find that the only way to really accurately reach somebody directly, a lot of times they don't have an accurate email address, or people are pretty quick to, you know, just ignore a promotion email like that. But the only way to really reliably reach them at their address with their name on it is to send out this piece. Now, from an active customer upsell, I don't have the specific stats, the analytics. I do for our side on the print marketing. For digital email, I know it's really effective. I think the return rates are pretty similar. As an example, if I can give one that's fairly relevant, we do a lot for, we'll do a lot of prepay letters coming up. You saw on that number 2 on that list there. November and then January are big times for those. What I'll recommend is that for as many email addresses as you have, you know, send first an AMA, like a Black Friday email or something, and then with the next week or two, give people, you know, a little time to respond. And then once you have all those people captured on the books, we'll take that residual balance and send them a letter. I find returns are pretty similar. So if you've got, you know, anywhere in that 10 to 20% range on prepaid, I've got some numbers, a big kind of range of analytic numbers here in a few slides down the road. Differences, but they're real analytics that we pull. I just genericize the names for obvious purposes. But I think the rates of return are still pretty similar. But I agree. I think a combination of both, especially for active customers, is the best way to do it. Just cover all your bases. You know, it's relatively inexpensive on both sides per piece. In terms of the return too, when you compare it to the return. So I think it's just a no-brainer to do both as much as you can. And good question, thank you. All right, so we can do here, this next slide relates to all of these actually. So if you want to do a specific campaign for a particular service, or lump them all together on something we came up with on the next slide there, I'll show you guys in a second. But whatever your upsell service is, if it's mosquito, you know, flea and tick, all the way down to overseeding and winterization. We'll time these out so they hit when it's going to be most effective. So when it's topical, like right now with mosquito and pests, spring is here for many of us, and you know, it's getting warmed up and things are blooming and growing and bugs are back. And it's a great time to get these out, especially in heavy water, buggy areas like us and many other places. Mosquitoes really big. What we also can do, so we can do specific campaigns, so just a mosquito card, you know, with a big scary bug on it or whatever. Or what we developed that's worked out really well is an optional upsell letter, we call it, optional upsell service piece. So on the design on the right, it's maybe a little hard to see, but this letter on the right that shows multiple services, what we do is we'll take all of your services and then with the brief description and customized pricing and send that as one letter, one piece. So even if somebody already has mosquito, you can still send that to them to say, we can put it all from the database. So instead of price, we'll say, not applicable. You already have the service, something like that. And it'll show the customized pricing based on your own customer data within SA. And it'll have their pricing with the description of the service. And it just lets them know everything you do. The returns are really high on these. Again, the theme is just really an easy way to pull in some extra cash. And this way, without having to send out multiple pieces or worry about specific timing, we can get them all onto one letter and they'll have all the information right there. And what you see pretty frequently is once you get them on the horn and once you get somebody engaged in email, whatever the method is, that when you get a chance to pitch the stuff yourselves, you'll get them, if they were calling about mosquito, you get the opportunity to get in front of them about, hey, let's start thinking about grub, or maybe done aeration recently, and here's the benefits of that. So you can really start to pile up the services. And as far as the overall design goes, this is all incorporated within Service Assistant, so we pull all that specific information to your customers, related to your customers, and apply that here. So not only your descriptions, but the customized pricing. Anywhere you see, if you can, these little X's where it's in brackets, that comes in with the data. So when you set up a pull, or if you happen to upload yourself to us, this will all be specific to customer based on their customer number and that information that you have already in the database. So it's there. You put in the work to flag it and get the correct information. So let's put it to good use. So these little X is hard to see, but as an example up here, receive XX% off first application. So that's a customized offer for this family. And this big, bright picture with the big oval offer, that'll be in a large window envelope. So you don't have to open the letter at all, even to see their name, address, and a big enticing offer right there staring them in the face as soon as they get back from the mailbox. So customized pricing, customized offers, customized discounts, all customer specific, multiple ways to reach you, calls to action, jump on the site, give us a buzz. I think 9 times out of 10, somebody, especially an active customer, if they're familiar with you, they'll jump on the site and just sign up. But a lot of times they'll call in, then you get the opportunity to pitch even more services to them. And some more specifics on the design here. So these are templates. We've got hundreds of templates to choose from. If you've done this with us before, we can always tweak the artwork, change, easy design changes and quick turnarounds, postcards and door hangers and letters. Letters always be the most effective in terms of return, especially for an active customer. So that's where I would probably start. And then with the combination with AMA for the email, if you have the email address, if you don't, let's hit in with one of these pieces. But certainly can't go wrong with some kind of leave behind on one of the other multiple platforms we have. So if you're pitching a specific service like this with the gross little grub on there, this will have all their information and their pricing and laid out for them so they can mail it in, which doesn't happen a ton anymore, but they'll probably jump on the website and sign up. That's how I did personally with mine. And then here's just behind this one is another optional upsell services with all the different services. So it's got mosquito and aeration, everything that you do can be showcased on one letter, and then they'll have their specific pricing for each service, based on lot size and all the information you have in the database itself already. You'll be able to sign up for one, 2, or all services. So just make it easy. Put the number on there multiple times, website on there. Just reduce the groundwork for them and just make it easy to call in and get signed up. That's the idea there. And for design, in terms of the overall campaign, not necessarily the the artwork piece on the letter, the individual components like this, but just tying everything together overall. So if you've been to any of these webinars before, if you've heard us at the conferences or anything, we hammer home that integration pretty hard. So you'll hear, Dave and Chris, myself, and Ed and Shelley talk at length about having everything branded, tied together. So your websites, your marketing pieces, posting signs, apparel, trucks, everything you got should look the same. So you create that lasting branded image. It should all be tied together, and make sure your website's modern, accessible, easy to navigate, easy to find. If you don't have a big button that says sign up here or click here for offer, make sure you get one on there. Do that for you. If you can't do it, let us know. Google reviews. I know if I'm buying something on like eBay or Amazon or anywhere, I check the reviews right away. So that's super important. Not to mention a nice selling piece too. So we'll do that. Printed on a lot of the pieces if they have a real testimony from actual customers and actual ratings. 4.83 out of 5 on Google reviews. We'll make sure we hype that up, because that's an excellent selling point. And it's no different with, it's kind of a marketing piece, but it's no different with these pieces as well. Personalization and offer codes. So CAW offer code is another nice piece to have. If I can jump back, I'll show you guys. It might be hard to see, but at the very bottom here, that series of X's is a code. It's not X's, it's like a randomly generated number letter combo. But that's also customized and specific to each customer. So all they have to do is jump on the site, click your button, and then type in that code, and it takes them right to their information. Everything's loaded up, and they can just continue to, go to the cart and sign up. Just fill in a few pieces of information, and they're ready to go. And then calls to action we touched on just a couple minutes ago. So make sure it's very easy, accessible site. You see the all green posting sign here with the big phone number. Super important. Make it easy. And then tracking, sort of like Tiffany asked earlier. How do we track? There's a number of different ways. The Prospect Smart, tracking with the landing page and call tracking, tied into SA5 again, so you can have it right at the command center, so you can track it in real time. CAW offer code, that was that series of X's that generated letter number code that's specific to each customer. Source code for Service Assistant, IntelliMail, and website analytics. And we have our own analytics that we run, which I mentioned before. So here's some actual numbers that we use. So we'll run analytics. Dave Folter and a couple members of the tech team a couple years back came up with a way to pull tracking information to judge the success of a particular campaign. With a couple of the tech guys, they put together this program that pulls information from your database, from SA5, based on customer status. So if they go from whatever we're trying to measure, if it's a marketing letter, in March, we're trying to measure how many new customers came aboard in that time. We'll track that from M status, that customer number, and see all the statuses they traveled. So if they go from M to 9 active, we'll consider that a new customer. And if they got the letter, then we'll add that to our analytics and use it to work up these numbers. We can do the same with from an active standpoint, like we did with these. We just pull that status change from, if they changed from just lawn care, but they added a particular service during the time of this campaign, and if they received, this particular piece in the promotion, then we'll use that number as a new customer here to get these numbers. So a few examples. These are actually real. This is from the last couple of years. I just picked a little handful here. There's a ton of them, but I wanted to show some that were, moderately successful. Some that could have used some work in the particular campaign, and then, with this bananas one at 30%. But really, it showed that range of success just to give a more concrete idea of what we expect in return. So I think that 5 to 12.8%, those second two, the grub upsell and the optional upsell, those are where the expectations. I think anywhere 4 or 5 up to 10, 15% are what we see most often. There's always outliers depending on timing or depending on piece or a couple of different factors, but we at least like to see these, and then this gives us an idea of things during the planning process if we maybe should tweak something, if it was timing or if we need to make an artwork change, or if the offer wasn't quite there, or maybe we include more targets, fewer targets, whatever the case may be. It gives us a chance to evaluate those results and look forward and make some changes if need be. This optional upsell letter to all actives, I wouldn't change a thing. Probably at 30%, that's a huge return. But just quick rundown of the categories here. Here's campaign type and description, the quantity mailed, the mail date, the price per piece. I did kind of genericize those too. Campaign cost, the new sales we got. So that's where we get this new sales number is what I mentioned about tracking that status change. So if they go from just lawn care and they add perimeter pest, or say grub for the upsell letter, they add that grub service, they got the letter, we'll consider that a new sale. Now, is it exactly perfect? Not necessarily, but it's a pretty good gauge of the campaign's success overall. If they happen to get the letter, but then they jump on the website and sign up there, did they just go to the site and sign up and they get the letter? So we factor in everybody that got the letter, and then how many new sales, just to give us a round number of the overall success of the campaign. You measure sell-through rate then, and then some of the key marketing terms here: the sell-through rates, the sell-through revenue. So this is the cash you pulled in. Total revenue would be minus the cost, and then CPS is cost per sale. So 96, a little high for active campaign. $2, I think we take that all day long. But right here in this, this 715, that's a little low too, I think, which is great. But that's kind of the expectation we can have. I don't have those the AMA numbers in front of me. I'm sure they do, but I think from going over that with the prepay letters and the example I used, I think it's around there too, like that probably 10 to 15% success rate, and just in talking to some of the companies as well. So track the results. We use this as part of the planning process. Pretty strong. It's kind of a no-brainer to do these. If you've got any kind of marketing budget left, I would put it into, like a pest or an optional upsell actually, pretty soon. So get started planning that. We'll have time to get the data squared away, get that pulled, have all that customized customer information in there for pricing and offer. Get the artwork squared away. If you've got something already that you want to tweak, we can do that. If you want to start from scratch, we certainly can do that. If you want to take a look at one of the templates, happy to send those over and look at a bunch of different options. And just because we have a specific template, like let's say one of these, doesn't mean we can't make changes to it. And these are just just some ideas and examples, and we can really do anything. Like we've got a design team in-house ready to go. So here's return numbers, and then why reagree? Why work with us? I've hammered it home pretty good, and we always do. It's the integration, I think, is the key piece. Just having everything. I mean, you've already got Service Assistant and all the different tools within it, and all the information contained within that database is hugely valuable. So let's put it to good work. Let's get that customized pricing in there. Let's take advantage of the information we have. And target audience, so we can pick exactly who we want to target if we're buying new data, or if we're doing active customers like the upsells here. We have all that information at our fingertips that can be pulled out and put to use. And customized and personalized. We have nearly 40 years of experience in the industry. So with growth, we've grown ourselves and grown with many of you guys, and got to watch companies start tiny and get huge and grow different branches, and living in the industry constantly 24 hours a day gives us it's an advantage that we can use that experience and advantage to help you grow. We've got some webinars upcoming. We've got planned now for a summer or fall migration on April 15th at 3 p.m. Grow faster with LawnBot. Those LawnBot guys are good. April 22nd at 3 p.m. and there's a lot of information there. Same with the texting. So you got some SMS on April 29th. Coal March, those guys, they'll have some digital information for you. So Tiffany, May 6th at 3 p.m. Mark your calendar. Statement processing is another good one, and then mosquito control upselling. Right back to us for more of this, just mosquito focused. June 9th at 3 p.m. So we'll be heavy into mosquito season then, but happy to answer any questions and pass along all of our information. I'd recommend, especially for the optional upsell, or if you're doing mosquito, some of the later services we can do throughout the summer month. I get a jump on pest and mosquito right now, and optional upsells for sure. And this one, the marketing team added this one. This is my favorite slide so far. Got the conferences back. Solutions, we're doing January 9th through 12th. We're back in Florida. It's gonna be awesome. And we're doing a separate virtual event. So, I mean, we'll obviously have numbers as we get closer, but I know we had a really good turnout at the virtual event this year. You know, it was sort of a different feel to it, obviously. We had a really good showing at the one in Nashville. And I know those Florida ones are always really popular. So, bring the clubs, hit the beach, SeaWorld, Disney World, beginning of January next year. We're planning on it being back in person, so that's very exciting news. And thanks. And you can start. There's if you go to realgreen.com/print, it's just a real simple little form. So if you have questions or want one of us to reach out and don't have our direct information, this gets submitted at real time, goes right to our team, and we'll contact you right away. We can set up a time to talk, or you know, go back and forth, however you prefer, to get you set up. And that's about it for me and upsells.
Andrew, there's a couple questions, and we've got about 3 minutes left. I want to just get them answered. I answered the questions just briefly, but said that I would give you the opportunity to, to answer as well. 2 of them are about codes. Is there an option to do a code that can be added from Real Green to our website? So, for example, text Real Green and get 10% off. And then Jason also asked, but he's left. So is the offer code the best way to track success of direct mail?
Yeah, offer code and source code. So there's a couple different options. The offer code is great for, you know, more of like a sales tool because it just makes it easier for the customer. And then for tracking on your end too, and it's just an easy way for them to jump in, have their offer right there. So it just takes a lot of the guesswork and then some of the steps out of the middle. They get their offer, they're already programmed in there basically. They just have to confirm and sign up. Source code is a good way to track too. So per campaign, we just got through, you know, the large marketing season, the heavy new customer, new acquisition marketing season. And what a lot of people do is put like spring 2021 or something, or, you know, DM2 2021, whatever code is they want to use, and then flag all those potential customers and new customers. That whole list will get that flag. So if they're added to the database, they'll have that flag code associated with that source code. And then you can just pull a list right there and see how many customers you've gotten just based on the specific campaign. So yeah, CAW code, great for offers, makes it easier for the customer to sign up, which is always good. And then source codes and flag codes using that database for tracking.
And we have one other question, Andrew, and this one quick. Do you find any of these pieces convert better with specific services rather than others? Termites, for example, she's asking.
I mean, there's some topicality and some regionality to it. I hate to give kind of the milquetoast answer like that, but I know guys that do really well in certain parts of the country where lime is big. You know, like if you start heading east from here, from, you know, mountainous Pennsylvania into like East Coast, lime is really big. Around here specifically, our area of mosquito is huge, mosquito and pest, because there's so much water. It gets so muggy. We've got lakes everywhere, so they'll do specific campaigns. I think really just in general, the most effective are going to be bug based, if that makes sense. So mosquito, or pest, you put a big, you know, nasty spider on something like that, that's going to get somebody's attention. Plus, it's the most tangible, I guess. You know, people know they don't want bugs in their house. They want to get permanent pests. They don't want mosquitoes biting the kids when they're out playing in the yard. So you want to get that mosquito barrier. You know, things that you can, when you get a chance to talk to somebody, that would be easier to upsell versus just a hard-hitting, attention-grabbing piece would be things like aeration, so you can tell the benefits. You know, a lot of people don't know what grub is, you know, or Japanese beetles or anything, so they're not going to fully know, you know, like what an overseed is. If you get a chance to get in front of them and explain, then yeah, you can describe the benefits and get those. But I think just overall, the bugs, anything pest, spider, mosquito, those are the most effective.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm over time, but if anybody's still on, happy to field any questions, anything else I can provide.
I think we're all set. We can just follow up with a couple people after. We had some additional questions, and we'll follow up with them.
Great. Yeah, I'll say this this piece again, that realgreen.com/print. If a question pops up after, or you just want to, further the conversation, it's just a super easy online form. Type in a little information, it zips right over to us, then we'll call you right away. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate the time. We'll see you soon.